With James Gunn's DCU, I thought it would be nice to cover some iconic DC moments and characters that we have yet to see in live action. At this point, it's kind of ridiculous that we have yet to see the Avengers or the Justice League fight an evil one-to-one version of themselves in live action. In most solo superhero movies, the bad guy is just someone with the exact same powers as the hero, but just grey. But when it's a team-up movie, then all of a sudden the bad guy is someone with a bunch of minions. Like what? I love the Crime Syndicate, okay? They're definitely up there in my top Justice League villains. I know the whole concept is kind of basic, like, oh, we're not superheroes, we're super villains. You know, we don't save people, we run crypto scams and text miners. But I don't care, okay? I loved them as a kid and I love them now. If they were to do this in live action now, they can go the JLA Earth 2 route and just a classic parallel Earth story, and the Justice League is like, hey, we heroes, even though we're from another Earth, we gotta save this other Earth, you know? Like, we heroes, that's what we do. I'm not gonna spoil how that comic ends, but it's really not in the way that you would expect. Or you can go the Forever Evil route, where the Crime Syndicate invades our Earth, the Justice League is presumed dead, and a bunch of villains have to team up with Batman and Lex Luthor to fight against the Syndicate. I can probably make an entire video just talking about Forever Evil, but I'm just gonna speed run through some moments that they could possibly adapt in live action and it will be really cool. Ultraman being a kryptonite drug addict, Captain Cold backshotting Johnny Quick, Sinestro backshotting Power Ring, Alexander Luthor and his twist, Bizarro's whole story, Nightwing being unmasked in front of the whole world and dying, kind of. Okay, maybe not the last one. Also, from the Crisis on Two Earths animated movie, Owlman has a pretty strong following now. How many of these fans have actually seen the whole movie and not just that one clip on YouTube? Who's to say? But as long as our evil Batman isn't the Batman who laughs, I think we're all happy. I think way down the line after the Justice League has been established, the Crime Syndicate is a good way to test their morals and their physical strength. However, it's pretty likely that we won't see these guys on screen ever, at least for the next 10 years. Because James Gunn strikes me as the kind of guy to be smart enough to not touch any of the multiverse stuff right now, because he knows that everyone, and I think I speak for all of us, that we are completely burned out by multiverse stuff. Because you see, we are in the middle of stakeflation. Oh, the city's at stake? Nope. The planet's at stake? No. The whole universe is at stake? Nope. Every universe, including a bunch of universes that we don't care about, is at stake? Yeah, that's what's at stake. Also, James Gunn is already using the Ultraman title for a character in a Superman movie that isn't Ultraman, probably Bizarro. So that kind of sucks for me. Dude, how funny would it be if they got the DCEU actors to play the Crime Syndicate? You want a Henry Cavill back? Well, he's back, but instead of putting out fires, he's putting men on fire. My god, that would piss off the Snyder fans so much. That would be amazing. Okay, so technically we have already gotten this in live action through Titans. However, if you have seen Titans, you will know that what they did was not the same. That was Death in the Family light, okay? That wasn't Death in the Family, that was Diet in the Family. Also, I'm not counting what they did in Batman v Superman, because if you didn't already know, Zack Snyder confirmed that that wasn't Jason Todd, that was Dick Grayson. Yeah. We do have a Robin movie in development though, called The Dynamic Duo, and it will supposedly feature Dick Grayson and Jason Todd. Now the thing is, this movie will be made using puppetry technology. I don't really know if that's considered live action, because technically it's not frame by frame animation, but it's not exactly real people either, so... Anyway, what I'm trying to say is it's very possible we get a flashback of a little wooden Jason Todd getting the shit beaten out of him by a wooden Joker with a tiny little crowbar stuck to his hand, like... But the hard thing about this whole thing is that it has to be after building Jason Todd's career as Robin with the audience, otherwise... Who cares? Also, you have to get this whole thing right, okay? You can't do it like Titans where the whole death scene is in 1 minute and there's no dialogue and you can't even get a clear look at the Joker. Like, what are we doing here? Jason Todd dying and his revival as Red Hood both need impact. For a period of time, Jason Todd was one of the 3 characters that fans believed to be permanently dead in comic history. The other 2 were Bucky Barnes, which clearly has changed now, and Uncle Ben. And yes, I am still holding out for Uncle Ben to be revived as a ruthless vigilante in New York City. Although, like dating someone, introducing Jason Todd is a time commitment where the good payoff is essential, because otherwise we're just wasting everyone's time. So if you've read Justice League The New Frontier, there's a moment where Wonder Woman and Superman butt heads. Wonder Woman frees a bunch of women held captive in Vietnam because a bunch of guys went through the village, killed all the men and children, and were holding the women captive to use them. So Wonder Woman beats the shit out of all the guys, takes the guns, hands it over to the women who are now free, and is like, hey, you do what you want with these guys. And obviously it didn't end well for those guys. And when Superman learns about this, he's like, what? Diana, you just stood there and watched while they killed all these guys. What? This is not the American way. Soups, I love you, but no, okay? Stop being a little bitch. Let's get this out of the way. Wonder Woman, she has her own moral compass. She's not some American patriot. She sees a bunch of women caged up and being assaulted. She's gonna be like, hey, if the Americans aren't doing anything to save you guys, here you go. Choose what you wanna do. Also, in that comic, Wonder Woman just towers over Superman. It's an insane visual. James Gunn has said that he's probably not gonna be able to find an actress taller than David Corensway who's like 6'4" and be talented enough to be Wonder Woman, so that's fair enough. But the rumor is that James Gunn is taking a very similar approach to Justice League The New Frontier, so it's possible we could see a scene similar to that. And I emphasize similar because I don't think they want sexual assault associated anywhere near Wonder Woman and Superman, okay? That's a bit risky. Not anything specific, but just any other color that's not green. Yeah, we saw Sinestro go yellow for a brief moment at the end of the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie, but that's literally only like 2 colors out of 9. Obviously, they haven't exactly had the opportunities to show all these other lanterns, considering we've only had one live-action Green Lantern property in the past 20 years. But even in Stargirl or the Arrowverse, we didn't even get a hint of the other colors. Obviously, you will need an insane budget for a space opera of this level with all the aliens and all the special effects, but you see, that's really not my problem. Show me Dexter, bro. Show me Laughley's being a whiny little bitch. That's all I need. We can't have all the colors at once though, because there is a certain crowd on the internet that might get upset about what that's trying to insinuate.
What's poppin'? Brand new whip, just hopped in. I got options. I can pass that bitch.
Honestly, all the Green Lantern stuff is enough to be its own universe. There's just so much lore. I guess also the DCU can do the Blackest Night event in 20 years when all the actors are 50 and whatever and all the characters have been killed off. James Gunn seems pretty into the whole Lantern thing though, considering we've already had 3 Green Lanterns casted, so I have pretty high hopes. I don't think we'll be seeing the other Lanterns in the upcoming Lanterns TV show though, because it's supposedly gonna be Earth-based, which I have no problem with. Damon Lindelof, one of my favorites, is in that writing room, so I'm so okay with whatever they do, it's gonna be great. Remember when this was a thing in the comics? But I'm gonna be honest, this whole concept pushes my suspense of disbelief. You're telling me that a multi-millionaire businessman who is well known for being a shitty person in real life and is literally a convicted criminal would get enough votes in the United States to become president? Like, dude, what? That's impossible. Nothing like that would ever happen in real life. We did get a hint of this in Smallville though, where they constantly hinted at Lex Luthor being the president of the United States in the future, and in a flash forward it showed Lex Luthor being elected as president in 2018. Well, so to us it will be a flashback, but to them it was a flash forward. But to us, we didn't have a US election in 2018, so what the fuck? In Crisis on Infinite Earths, we also got a verbal confirmation of his win in the Smallville cameo.
Lex.
Yeah.
I didn't know the president was in town.
Also, does anyone else remember when President Luthor beat the shit out of the Bat family in the White House? That is something I need to see in live action. Except, let's keep Jason and Dick in their puppet form so you see Lex Luthor punch 2 Batgirls and you see him just fight against wooden puppets with their arms and legs just flailing everywhere and shit. I love how everyone in DC's America is like, dude, oh my god, that was years ago. Those LexCorp robots that destroyed my apartment, I don't even think it was real. I probably just made that up because, you know, there's no way. So what if my cousin was killed by Lex Luthor's attack last year, okay? People change. Do you not believe in forgiveness? And he knows how to run a business. He'll know how to run a country. Lois Lane... Oh my god. Do you even hear yourself? Lois Lane? Lois Lane is a shill for stuff like, I don't know, science and facts, okay? I don't want her propaganda spreading to my kids. Not that I have kids. I don't understand why females don't want to breed with me. This whole president thing would have to be at least a chapter 2 thing in the DCU, because otherwise people would just be like, wasn't he trying to destroy Metropolis 10 minutes ago? How is he president? But how funny would it be if he actually started improving America at a rapid pace? So everyone's like, yeah, he did give us free universal healthcare and free college tuition, so I'm gonna have to let this kryptonite missile slide. Either way, I know Nicholas Hoult is gonna kill as Lex Luthor. He'll be the youngest president in the United States by like 100 years, but and if Lex Luthor does become US president, at least committing war crimes wouldn't be anything new to him. The fact that we did not get this fight in the DCEU is frankly quite insane. For the first time, we had Shazam and Black Adam in live action form in the same universe, and they didn't even meet? That's like having Spider-Man and Venom in the same universe and never having them meet. Like, no studio is dumb enough to do that, right? No, but seriously, this is like if we got a Sinestro movie and he never meets Green Lantern. Like, are we registering how insane this is? Black Adam's costume is literally just a black version of Shazam's costume. The fact they even teased Black Adam in the first Shazam movie, it just blows my mind how badly this whole thing flopped. The Rock was really like, nah man, if I'm fighting anyone, it's gonna have to be the most recognizable and iconic fictional character in American media of all time. Second to Mickey Mouse, of course. And then Zachary Levi decided to open his big mouth and started getting into politics and shit like, why?
What's poppin'? Brand new whip, just hopped in. I got options. I can pass that.
I mean, it was always weird that his Shazam was more immature than the kid Billy Batson, so that was never really adding up anyway. But because of that, it's gonna be years before we see a new Shazam, let alone a new Black Adam. The Rock was right about one thing though, the hierarchy of the DC universe did in fact change after that movie. He literally just sentenced the entire DCEU to its death. I guess it's okay, because we can just rewatch that Superman Shazam DC animated showcase whenever we want, and which is really what they should have based the whole thing off of, but someone fucked up.
I got options. I can pass that bitch like stocking.
That's all I have for this week. If you haven't seen it already, I did do a Marvel version of this a couple months ago, so check that out if you haven't seen it already. It was pretty fun to do. Check out my second channel for random vlogs and videos. Check out my Instagram, check out my letterbox, and that's it. I'll see you next week. See ya.